Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Preeti. Today we are going to see a topic on types of logical structure. So coming to the logical structure, we have three types. One is sequence, selection and iteration. Okay, so coming to the sequence structure. So sequence structure is nothing but you are going to perform an instruction one by one, or you are going to execute the instruction in sequential order as sequential structure. So you have a statement 1, then you are going to execute statement 2, then after which you are going to execute statement 3. At last you will be executing the last statement in your coding. So one by one you will execute all the statements. So this structure is called as sequential structure. Now in selection structure, you are going to perform the action based on the condition given. Okay, so based on the condition, you are executing some set of statements. That is your selection structure. So we will see an example of how to implement this selection structure. Okay, so now we will write a pseudocode. So in this pseudocode, you can able to see that you are going to use an if statement. You are going to check if the amount is less than 100. If the amount is less than 100, you are going to set the initial interest rate to be 0.05. Else, otherwise, you are going to set the interest rate to be 0.08. Okay, this is a simple pseudocode I have given, and you are going to close this if by end if. So this is a simple pseudocode where you are going to use one logic where you are going to check the amount is less than 100. You are going to set this interest rate to be 0.05. Otherwise, you are going to set the interest rate to be 0.08. So we will see how this pseudocode is implemented in flowchart. So now we will see here you should have start and this input variable. So for time being, I have not drawn all start and stop over here. So I am drawing only this particular part over here. So you are going to check if for if condition, you have to use a rhombus symbol as we have discussed in flowchart. So you are going to check if the amount is less than 100. If the condition is satisfied, so if means it is going to check for the condition. If the condition is satisfied, yes means it will go to this particular part. So here you are going to write this interest rate is 0.05. Else means no. No means it will go to the other set of statement where you are going to give this statement. Interest rate is 0.08. And it is going to the next statement. Both the statements, you should not close it over here. You should come here and then it will go to the next statement. So this is how you have to draw your flowchart. So this is the selection structure. The same example you can use it for drawing your drawing for finding the largest of two numbers. So in that case, you will be reading two variables and then you will be checking here if A is greater than B. Yes means it will print A is greatest in the left hand side. No means it will print B is the greatest. Then it will go to the next statement in your program. So this is your selection structure. Selection structure means performs action based on the condition given. So based on the condition, it is performing some actions. That is your selection structure. So wherever you are using if condition, then you have to use this type of structure in your program. That is in your flowchart. If here you can write yes or no, or otherwise you can write true or false, anything you can write. Okay. Next, last looping logical structure is looping or iteration. So what do you mean by looping or iteration is when you want some group of statements to be executed multiple times, then it is called as looping or iteration. A loop statement allows us to execute a statement or group of statements multiple times. So when you want to execute some set of statements multiple times, then you can use this looping structure in your program. So looping and iteration both means the same. Okay. So when will you stop that looping? So the looping will stop when that condition becomes fail. Okay, that is your looping. So for doing this looping or iteration in your algorithm or program, you have to use for loop or otherwise while loop. Okay, first we will see while loop. So coming to this while loop, how the while loop will be implemented is, so you have to write like this: while condition do statements end while. So you have to end this while with end while. Okay, so while, and so if you are going for if statement, you will be writing if condition, then you will be writing the set of statements. In that case, the condition, the control flow will be executed only once. Suppose if you are using while loop, then the set statements which you are giving inside this while loop will be executed multiple times until this condition becomes fail. Okay, now we will see the pseudocode for this. So this is the pseudocode for printing n natural numbers. Okay, for printing n natural numbers. So this is the pseudocode. So you hear what is an input? Input we are going to read n. Suppose I want to print 5 up to 5 natural numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 I have to print. Okay, so in that case I have to read n. So which up to which you want to print it, that is the n you are going to get. And you have to initialize I equal to 1. Since I am starting from the value I is equal to 1, so I am initializing I is equal to 1. So next I am going to check for the condition while I is less than or equal to n. So I have to write this condition. So this condition is being written such that you have to check this I value is 1. 1 is less than or equal to n. What is n over here? 5. Okay, so 1 is less than or equal to 5. So when the condition here, the condition is true. 1 is lesser than or equal to 5. When the condition is true, it goes inside. Okay, it goes inside and it will print I. So what it will print? It will print I. What is I value? I is initially 1. So it will print 1 on the screen. Now I gets incremented. I is equal to I plus 1. So I value will become 2. Okay, so now since it is while loop, again this loop continues. It goes here, it will check for the condition. So I value is 2 now, I is 2. So 2 is less than or equal to n. N will be the same, n will be 5 here. So it checks for the condition. So again the condition is true, it goes inside and then it will print 2. Print I means it will print 2. So now I want to increment the value. I will become I plus 1. I is already 2. 2 plus 1 is 3 now. Okay, again it goes here. It checks for the condition now. So what it happens? So here 3 is less than or equal to 5. Okay, now again the condition is true. It will print 3 on the screen. I gets incremented. I will become 4. So now again the condition repeats. So 4 is less than or equal to 5. Again the condition is true. It will print 4 on the screen. So now it gets incremented. I becomes 4. Now it will become 5. Okay. So again it goes for checking the condition. 5 is less than or equal to 5. Yes, it is true. It will print 5 on the screen and it gets incremented. Now I is 6. So again it will check for the condition. So 6 is less than or equal to 5. Whether it is true or not, it is false. When it checks a condition, I is 6 is less than or equal to 5, it is false. So once when the condition becomes fail, it comes outside the loop, it will go for executing the next statement in the line. So there is no statements outside the loop. It will go to the stop of the algorithm. Okay, so here what happens is, since 6 is less than or equal to 5, once the condition becomes false, it will not execute the statements inside. It comes outside the loop. Okay, so this is how this while loop will execute. So when you are giving it inside the while loop, it will repeat the statements until the condition becomes fails or it becomes false. Okay, now we will see how to implement this while loop in the flowchart. So first we are going to use start, then you are going to read n, and I am going to initialize I is equal to 1. I am going to check the condition. If I is less than or equal to n, if the condition is true, I am going to print this I and I am going to increment this I value. So from here it has to repeat, this loop has to be repeated again and again until the condition becomes fails. Once the condition becomes false, that means no, it comes outside the loop. You should see here I am not connecting these two lines. So if you are going to connect, there will be a confusion. So what I am going to do is, if this is the condition is no, it comes outside and it goes for the stopping this flowchart. So first what I am going to do, I am going to check for the condition. The condition is true, I am going to execute the statements again and again. I am going to execute. So first time it will be I will be 1 and it gets incremented. I will get 2. Again it goes for checking the condition. 2 it will print 2. Then it will be I becomes 3. It goes here, checks for the condition 3. 3, again it will print 3, I becomes 4, it goes again and again it goes. Once the condition becomes I becomes 6, it comes outside the loop. No, then it goes to the check the condition, if condition becomes false, it comes outside and it goes for stopping the flow chart. Oh, this is the flow chart for while statement. So this is a program, this is the flowchart and as well as pseudocode for printing n natural numbers. Okay, so whether the n can be any type of any number you can give, even if you give 1000 also, it will print the numbers from 1 to 1000 by using this particular logic. You understood this logic? So first you have to initialize where you have to start and you have to check for the condition. Based on this condition only you are going to execute the statements. Okay, so when you want to implement this iteration concept or looping concept, then you have to use a statement called while. Simply if you use instead while, if you use if, it means that it will execute only one time. It will execute, it will check for the condition, it will execute only one time. If you want to repeat it multiple times, then in that case you have to use a statement called while. Okay, so that's all about your while loop. Coming to the for loop in iteration. So for loop works like this, like for the value in the start value to the end value, and we will be executing the set of statements and it is going to end for. So here how it works is that the value will take a value from the sequence and it goes on, and it will, for each iteration it will take one value, and once it reaches the end value it comes outside the loop. So first time when it executes, it will take the first value, it go and execute the set of statements inside the for loop. Second time when it proceed, it will take the second value and it will execute the set of statements. Likewise it will take one by one. At last when it reaches the end value, it comes outside the loop. So we will see this for loop how it works. So the same example I have taken for printing the numbers, printing n natural numbers. In that case we have to read n for I in the sequence 1 to n. Suppose if I am going to give the n value to be 5, so this will take the value till 5. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. up to 5. So print I end for. So this is the pseudocode I have written. So now we will see how it works when I am going to write the flowchart for this. Start, read n. So for I in 1 to n, the condition is satisfied, it will print I, then it goes on repeating this until it finishes all the numbers inside the sequence. Once if the sequence number has been completed, it no means it goes outside the loop. Okay, so we will see this example how it works. For example, n I am going to give it as n is equal to 5. So when n is equal to 5, it is checking for the sequence for I in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the first time the I will have the value 1. Okay, I will get the value 1. So now it will print. What is a statement which I have given inside for loop? I have given here print I. So it will print 1 on the screen. I value is 1. So it will print 1 on the screen. Next time again it goes, since it is a for loop, it has to repeat this loop. So second time it goes, I will take the value 2. Okay, so now it goes inside and it will print 2 on the screen. So again I will take the value 3. So print 3. It will print 3 on the screen. So now I will take the value 4. For the fourth time when it proceed, I will take the value 4 and it will print 4 on the screen. So now I will take the value 5. So now it will print 5 on the screen. So it has got all the numbers inside the sequence. So once if it completed taking all the numbers, so there are no numbers to assign. So for that it will comes outside. So that's all. It will print all the numbers, it comes outside. So same thing which I am going to explain it in the flowchart. So start, read n. If for I inside the sequence, yes means if it is inside the numbers inside the sequence, yes it will print that particular I and it will proceed this. Else no means it will comes outside and stop. So this is the loop for loop. Okay, so I have explained to you the pseudocode how it works, and so for here the for loop we need not have to initialize the value and also we need not have to increment. Everything is done in the for loop itself. Okay, this is your for loop. So you have to give the read n and for I in the sequence of numbers. So for every iteration it will take one by one all the values inside the sequence and it will print, it will execute the statements inside. Okay, this is the for loop. So you can use rhombus itself for explaining the for loop. Like while loop, here also you can go with this for loop itself. So for I in the sequence, if yes means it will go and print this, otherwise it will go for stop. Okay, today in this video I have explained to you the logical structure like sequence, selection, and in iteration I have explained to you two topics. One is while loop, other one is for loop. I think you have enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching.